welcome back to the Us Room. All right, y'all. So we got to talk about this. So I've been watching this guy on TikTok called the Trauma Center. Right? He goes live, talks about different topics, about different things that happen in the Black community, and one of the topics came up about a 14-year-old. Your opinion on a 14-year-old choosing to keep a child. And he was saying pretty much that it was wrong for a 14-year-old to think that they had the choice to keep a child, which I kind of understand where he's coming from, but then I kind of, it's her body, it's her child. She, if she wants to keep it, she can. But on his side, logically, that's not smart for a 14-year-old to choose to keep a child that they know they can't take care of. Like, they're 14, right? But bring it to me, how that kind of related to me. So even though I did not have a kid at 14, but I did have a kid at 19, and I was neither financially responsible, physically responsible, or none of that. I was not prepared at all for my child. But by the grace of God, I was able to take care of her with the help of my support system. I love my family and my husband's family. They helped out a lot, and they are the reason that we are where we are now. And I thought to myself, how did I not manage to have a kid these last 6 years? And would I even be ready for another kid? And lately I've been talking a lot about just wanting to have another kid, and there's multiple reasons for it, right? One, I want to give Luna a sibling. Two, I just really feel like my family's not complete yet. Three, my husband thinks, and I also think, we talked about it yesterday, that I might be a little bored being in the house by myself all the time and feeling like I don't really have much to do, and a baby will give me some type of responsibility again, because now Luna's at school during the day, so I don't really have anything to do during the day unless I'm taking care of business or something like that, which that's not an everyday thing. That's like a once in a while thing, right? But what I want to talk about, right, is the importance of really just thinking before we do things, especially before we decide to open the floodgates to these men, right? And the reason why I say that is because if I didn't have the man that I have, I would probably have 16 kids. Not gonna lie. Probably have 16 kids. I'm not joking. Seriously, if I didn't have the man that I have, I would probably have 16 kids. Because the actuality is that most men, when they, doing it, they just want to release, and that's it. They don't really, some men don't think about the consequences of their actions. They just I just want to, and it leaves the women to deal with the repercussions of choosing to allow them to do that. And some things happen by accident. There's SA. We're not talking about that. We're talking about the people that are consenting to do this act together, with condom or without condom, because sometimes condoms break. We're not talking about that, but we're talking about the people that actively are not using protection, just going willy-nilly and just going crazy, right? And we have these girls that pregnant at 16, 17, 18, 19, or pregnant at 15, having 3 kids after that, within the span of 4 years. And it's not a good look. Even if you stay with the guy, even if you have your family support, it's not a good look. We have to start looking deeper and thinking more logically when it comes to the reasons why we want to have kids. Honestly, we shouldn't be wanting to have kids, just because, we want another baby in the house. That's not a deep enough reason. In reality, a lot of us are having kids just just to have something to do, to give us some type of purpose. But the actual reality is you should not be finding purpose in having kids. You should be finding purpose in other things in life, because it's too much stress on that child to know that I'm giving my mother purpose. Like, I'm the sole reason that my mom is still here. Because there's literally some parents that are like that. Like, they'd be like, oh, my child is my life, and they're the reason I'm still here. And I'm like, yes, that's good. But that can be somewhat detrimental to that child's psyche. Like, dang, the only reason my mom's here is because of me. Like, what if I mess up? What if I do something wrong? What if I don't end up the way that they want me to be, or they raise me to be? Or what if I don't match up to their expectations, and just, they just don't do what they want their parent to do? Then what? If your child becomes somewhat of a failure in your eyes, then what? Are they still going to be your purpose? Are they still going to have that huge impact on your life? And it's not to say that it's bad to make your children give you purpose. Somewhat, it is good, but they can't be the sole purpose that you are alive. You have to have something greater to live for than a person. You really do. You can't put all that responsibility of your happiness, your drive to go and get up every day because of a child or a person in general. It has to be greater than that. And it's just hard seeing all these young girls popping out babies back to back to back. And yes, things happen, people leave, sometimes people come, stepdaddies, all this other stuff, right? But we really gotta try to do it the right way. I know I didn't do it the right way. I had my kid out of wedlock, and then I got married 6 years later, but to the same guy. But that was literally like by the grace of God, because our relationship was not perfect, and it's still not perfect. Nobody's relationship is, but we made the decision after we had Luna. Well, really my husband, because I was always going back and forth whether I wanted another kid or not. But we waited until we were married to even really, 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 really consider having another kid. Because literally, I feel like if I would have had another kid, my life would be so much harder than it actually is. And I would have so much more stress, and just my life would be more chaotic than it already is. I'm already struggling right now to not find what I want to do, because I know what I want to do. I know what I want to do. I know what I'm set on this earth to do. I'm set on what I want to do. But it's the process of going through the steps to get there that makes my life a little chaotic at times. And then there's some other factors like me not driving. That's really like a big thing, like a hindrance to me not wanting to bring a child into this, because I want to at least be able to drive and go places with the children and not be stuck in the house with the child all the time because I'm scared to drive or I don't have my license yet. And it's just like, I just know that guys definitely knows when someone would have too much on their plate. When someone have too much on their plate. And I know for me personally, I have just enough on my plate. And I know I have to be very considerate and have to be very logical about when I want and prepare to have my next kid. First of all, I have to get cleared by a doctor to have my next kid because of my condition that I have. Because I have to be monitored my next pregnancy to make sure that I'm okay. But I also have to be ready mentally, financially, physically be prepared to go through another pregnancy, and emotionally be ready, because I know I'm going to be that baby's sole source of everything because I'm the mother. I have the milk, I do the nurturing. I'm doing in the house. I'm a stay-at-home mom, so I'm literally gonna be doing it mostly by myself. Even when my husband's home, he'll still help, but 80% of the work is gonna be on me. It's gonna be on me. So I have to be very, very particular and concise about when and why I want to have a next kid. And it can't just be for, looks and, oh, it makes me feel good. Like, can't do it like that, because then that's how we get too much on our plate. Even when you have a husband, it can still be hard. Like, kids are not just like some thing to take lightly. And I realized that, and I'm glad I realized it early, because I literally, when you think about it like this child that you're gonna have, their whole life trajectory, their trajectory of where they're gonna go in life, starts in your home. The way that you raise them, the environments that you put them in the house and outside of the house. The things that you teach them, the things you allow for them to hear and see and experience, even for the things that you can't control that they hear, see, and experience. Their life trajectory is in your hands. And that's not to be taken lightly. And most people need to sit down and really think about, hey, am I ready for 2 life trajectories to be in my hand? Am I ready for 3 life trajectories to be in my hand? Am I really ready for that? Am I even at the mental capacity to be able to really give 3 people all of me, or all the things that they need to really be successful in life, to really be able to grow up and venture out and do things on their own and be a functioning member of society? Do I have the capacity to do that? Even with the husband, do we have the capacity as 2 adults to have 3 kids, 4 kids, 5 kids, and really give them the best start that we can for their lives? Do we? Do we have that? Do we have that? And I think most people would probably say no, if you think about it like that. Do you have the mental, physical, emotional, spiritual capacity to keep adding people into your life that you're responsible for the next 18 years? And when you think about that, you might want to have less kids. And you might be a little bit more responsible when it comes to doing the marital act, or the act, and just being willy-nilly with everything and just letting the physical parts play out. We really gotta think about that stuff, because it's important. It's really important. And I'm just glad that I have the husband that I have, and I'm glad that I'm learning that, hey, having a baby is not just some, oh yeah, it's just, no, it's definitely not like that. And it really takes a lot of thought before having a kid, and it takes a lot of preparation, sometimes years of preparation. And I used to think, my cousins are older than me. They're 27. They just turned 27. And I asked them a couple months ago, I'm like, can one of y'all have a kid so that Luna can have a sibling? And if they would have said yes, that would be the stupidest reason. Yeah, I had a kid because my cousin said she wanted my cousin, her daughter, to have a cousin. That would be so stupid for them to, no. They were really real and honest with themselves. And they're like, no, I'm not mature enough, and I'm not even really responsible enough for myself to add another person into the life that I have. And that's real honest and raw. And I don't like at first I was like, dang, I did it, you can't too. But no, they know their limits. Some people don't know their limits. until after they've already made the decision to have more kids. And then when they have them all, you can't take them and put them back. You just got to deal with what you got. And that's why we have moms committing suicide and moms murdering their kids and children being abused and all these different things happening to kids because their parents were not ready. They were not ready. And they didn't realize how much of a responsibility, how much of a heavy weight it can be having a lot of kids. And I think if we really just sit down and really plan out and really be logical about the realities of having multiple kids, some of us might not have multiple kids. Some of us will stop at 2 because our capacity is only 2. Some of us may stop at 3, but there are people out there that are blessed and that have the capacity to have 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 kids. But that also, a big factor into that is financial reasons to have that many kids. I will not be having more than 3 kids if I'm not making at least the $500,000 a year. I'm not. It's just not smart. It's not smart at all. And especially when you're interested in the best interest of the kids and the way that their life is gonna go and the things that you can help them accomplish. It's just best to, start with 1. Get the hang of 1. Get feedback from the one that you have, like, hey, how am I doing? Am I doing a good job? Are there things that you need? Is there anything that I'm not doing that you want me to do? Is there anything I'm doing that you want me to stop doing? Once you get the hang of that, and you got that 1 kid, then we can think about, okay, so I'm doing this well with this kid. I need to improve here. So let's think about it. Okay, can I do this and go through this process again with another kid that has totally different needs, totally different everythings? Can I do that again? Do I have the capacity to do that again? And go from there. And I would not recommend people that are single that don't have another partner with them to be having multiple kids. It's just not smart. And I feel like that's like the downfall of our society, is that people are not thinking before they're having kids. They're not thinking about, what can I handle? Is this gonna be too much for me? They're not thinking about that. They're just like, oh, cute little babe, I'm gonna have another child. They're gonna be entertaining me and, all these different things. And I'm not talking about the people that really prepared, like, got everything together. They got their house, they got their car, they're financially secure. Like, I'm not talking about those people. I'm talking about the people that were like me, that literally just made a mistake. But the baby is a blessing, but made a mistake, but made a choice not to make that mistake again until everything was set up correctly and it was the right time to have another kid. They were in a good headspace. They were healthy. All that should factor into the reason why we have kids. We can't just be going based on feelings. Feelings are fleeting. One day you might love the kid. One day you might be annoyed by the kid and like, oh my gosh, I don't know why I had this kid. Stuff like that happens. That's why you can't. It has to be a bigger purpose and a more logical reason for having more kids. You really got to think about it. You really got to think about it. What is my capacity? What is my capacity? How many people can I handle on a daily basis to feed into and to help them on their life trajectory? That's what we should be thinking about. But that's all I got for y'all today. I love y'all. I'll see you on the next video. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any comments or feedback or any opinions, I would love to hear them. So comment If you like the video, like it. If you don't like the video, don't like it. Or you can put a thumbs down, you know. I'm up for criticism. But yeah, I love y'all. Peace. We are leaving the Rose Room.